Hey everybody, get on up and dance. Hey everyone, welcome. It's Melissa from Big Universe Music. I'm here on a good old Monday night, the first Monday in December, and I thought it'd be fun to do some little blues guitar lesson. I'm gonna tune up. I'm playing this cool little guitar that a brand sent me. It's called a Van Gogh guitar. Pretty nice for like a student style guitar. It's acoustic electric. Van Gogh. And the goal of our little live here is a guitar lesson for how to play the blues shuffle in the key of A. If you like what you're hearing, I've got a couple links for you to check out in the description. One of them being a link to for very beginner guitarists. If you're just starting to learn how to play guitar, like literally just picking it up, there's a link to an easy beginner guitar course of mine. It's completely free. And that's, again, for if you're just starting guitar, learning how to hold the guitar, how to tune the strings, how to count the frets, things like that. So that's really good. It's for free. It's in the link below. I've also got a link to my rhythm guitar course, which is for people who've been playing for a little bit longer and want to master being able to strum in time and pick in time and finally get over that rhythm hump. And lastly, if you enjoy this, you can, there's a link in the description there to leave a tip through Buy Me a Coffee. So with that in mind, I'm here to teach you. So let's get into it. We're doing the 12-bar blues shuffle in the key of A. So the key of A, let's start with that. The key of A is based around, or it's going to be based around today, 3 chords: our A chord, our D chord, and our E chord. So let's start right there with the A chord. Now, I like to do the A chord as a bar, but if you're just getting started, you're probably learning the A chord like this, where you put your pointer finger on fret 2, string 4, your middle finger on fret 2, string 3, and your ring finger on fret 2, string 2. So that's the A chord, that or that. Good. In the key of A, we call this our 1 chord. The 1 chord because it is the first triad, the first chord that belongs to the key of A. So A is our home base in our A chord is our home base in the key of A. So we got A. Our 4 chord is the D chord. And it's the 4 chord because in the key of A, our D chord is the 4th chord that appears in that musical scale. So A, B, C sharp, and then D is the 4, right? So with these fingers, A is 1, B is 2, C sharp is 3, and D is 4. So if you're not exactly sure how that works, you can always kind of more or less go in alphabetical order when you're trying to figure out the 1, 4, and 5 chords. So just think of the alphabet: A, B, C, D, E. And you'll get it right most of the time. There are sharps and flats in there that make it a little confusing when you're just getting started, but alphabetical order as a general rule. All right, so we've got A as the 1 chord, D as the 4 chord, and E as the 5 chord. Again, E, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C, D, and E. I've got to turn on my heater. It might be a little bit noisy. Let's see. I tried turning it off, but out here in my shed, my wood shed, I have to turn it on because it is about 30 degrees today in West Virginia. And if you are listening live, let me know so in the chat. Let me know where you're listening from and how many degrees it is where you are. All right, so we're doing the 12-bar blues shuffle in the key of A. We just went over our chords A, D, and E. I think, let's just play with this. I just saw this, so I haven't tested this yet. Oh, this is kind of cool. Sorry, I had to disappear and think for a second. If you do your A chord as a bar, you can also do the D chord and the E chords as bars as well. So you can play A here on fret 2, D on fret 7, and E on fret 9. If you do that, just make sure you're only strumming those 3 strings that you're barring. So that's fun if you're playing, maybe you just want to use one finger. All right, back to where we wanted to be. 12-bar blues in A. Typical guitar practice, going off on a limb to explore a different thing. So again, you can bar all the chords on fret 2 for A, fret 7 for D, and fret 9 for E. Okay, so let's go back to what we were talking about, the 12-bar blues. So the bars are groups of 4 counts. So every count of 4 is a bar. That means I have 1, and this is talking about rhythm. So 1, 2, 3, 4, that's a bar. It's also called a measure in music. So if I wanted to play a 12-bar blues, how long do you think the song would be? Or the form? How long would the form be? If you said 12 bars, you're right. The form is 12 bars. So that means we have to learn how to count to 4 12 times. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2, 3, 4. 4, 2, 3, 4. And then you could keep going to 5, 5, 2, 3, 4, 6, 2, 3, 4, 7, 2, 3, 4, 8, 2, 3, 4, 9, 2, 3, 4, 10, 2, 3, 4, 11, 2, 3, 4, 12, 2, 3, 4. So measures or bar 1 through 4 is going to be, and I'll type it in the chat, is going to be the A chord. That's going to be our first 4 bars. So I'm going to write it as A 4 times. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to go to D 2 times. So that's our 4 chord. And then back to A 2 times. So that's D, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, then back to A. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And here's where it gets fun. We have what's called the turnaround, where the chord changes every bar. We'll play E, that's our 5 chord, D, our 4 chord, A, our 1 chord, and then E. And then we start from the top. So if you're looking in the chat, I put a colon and then 2 slashes. That's the symbol for repeat. So that means we repeat the form. All right, let's try it. So we start with 4 on A. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2, 3, 4. 4, 2, 3, 4. Then we'll go 2 on D. 4, 2, 2, back to A for 2, 2, 3, 4, 2, then 1 on E, 1 on D, 1 on A, then 1 on E, and then we repeat. Okay, so I'm just doing down strums with every count. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And once you've mastered that, let's add a little more complicated rhythm. So I'm still doing the chord for the same amount of time, but now in between every downbeat, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm adding a little up strum. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 2 and 3 and 4. 2 and 3 and 4 and 4 and 2. Once you can do that smoothly a few times in a row, let's add the shuffle. So here's what it sounds like. All right, so that's the shuffle. And we're going to base that around the 3 strings, E, A, and D, just like our chords. So we're going to follow our chord progression, but now we're going to base the movement of our shuffle pattern around the open strings instead of the chord shapes. Okay? So that means our blues shuffle pattern just on the strings, our open strings that go with each chord, sound like this. A, then D, then A, then E, D, A, E. All right. So if you want to practice that, you can do that on the open strings first. But then if you feel good about it, we're going to add another string in there. So our A string is going to start the pattern along with the 2nd fret of our D string. And our pattern will go 2, 2, talking about the fret that's on the D string there. And then we'll do fret 4 of the D string, 4, 4. All right, so that's 1, 2, 2, 4, 2, 4, 2, 4, 2, 4, 2, 4, 2, 4, 2, 4. Okay, then we're going to keep that same idea, but now our open string will be D, and we'll do the 2 and 4 on the G string, and then we're just strumming the D and the G, just D and G together, doing 2 and 4. And we're only on that for a short amount of time, right? Then back to our A with the 2nd fret of D, 2 and 4. Yep, and keeping the same spirit. Now we're going to go to our E. Remember, we're using the strings to tell us which chord we're on. E and the 2nd fret of the A string. then our D, then back to A, then E. And if you have, hopefully if you've just joined, you can see the chord progression that I wrote out in the chat. So it's pretty simple and it sounds really cool. We're just using this 2 and 4. That's it. And changing strings depending which chord we're on. Okay. So it's A, D, A, E, D, A, E. Yes. Okay, that's the 12-bar blues shuffle in the key of A. So start by first knowing what your chords are, A, D, and E, or A, D, and E. Use those chords to learn the 12-bar blues pattern. A for 4, D for 2, A for 2, E for 1, D for 1, A for 1, E for 1. Then try playing it as a shuffle pattern, so chord progression with a shuffle. And then add your riff with the 2 and 4s on the 2 strings. Okay, once you've done that, and this is kind of where, I'm not going to lie, I'm still working on a lot of my stuff. I'm not the best improviser. I feel like one of the downsides of being able to sing is that when you're singing, you're like leading the songs and playing the chords, but to be able to sing and play your instrument and also be able to improvise on your instrument means that you spent a lot of time practicing. So nice job to everybody else who can do that. So working on my improvising, but let's talk about what you can do after you've mastered the 12-bar blues, the blues shuffle, and the blues shuffle riff. After that, you can record yourself playing it on like a voice memo or maybe in a studio if you're fancy. Or you can find a practice track on YouTube of playing, look up 12-bar blues shuffle in the key of A. And then what you can do is learn how to play your A minor pentatonic scale. Which I can show you right now. It's a pattern that can be moved around the guitar, which is amazing. So what I'm going to do is instead of calling out the frets, I'm going to call out the finger numbers. So pointer finger is 1, middle finger is 2, ring finger is 3, and pinky is 4. So that means wherever you start, you're going to assign 1 finger to each fret, right? So that means if I wanted to play an A, I'm going to start my A minor pentatonic pattern on the 5th fret with my pointer finger. So that's finger 1. So I'm going to say 1. And then my pinky 4 is going to reach for fret 8. So that's 1, 4. on the low E. Then I'm going to go to my A string and play 1-3. That's. Then my D string and play 1-3. My G string, I'll play 1-3. My B string, 1-4. And my E string, 1-4. Then backwards, 4-1, 4-1, 3-1, 3-1, 3-1, and then 4-1. So the reason that I like to say it in fingerings is because if you learn the fingering for that scale, then you can move it a little bit easier around, because then I can easily move to G and play that pattern at G. And, anywhere else that I want to go on the neck. It's just the same fingering pattern. So I like memorizing the fingerings and then the notes that I'm playing rather than the fret numbers, which is what tab will show you. The tab will show you the fret numbers, but should also show you the fingerings as well, so that it makes it easier to move it around. Okay, so then your A minor pentatonic scale. Then just simply find a friend or play along with the backing track of that 12-bar blues. And just play that scale over top of the 12-bar blues and see how it sounds. I wonder if I can sing it and play at the same time. No, that sounds terrible. But hey, at least I tried. All right, that's all I've got for the 12-bar blues in the key of A. Each one of those little things is something that you can spend weeks on. So don't feel like you have to practice it all right away and you don't have to master it right away. Just try 18 minutes a day. That's what they say it takes to become a master. 18 minutes a day on your guitar. And again, if you like what I'm teaching here on YouTube, we are doing lots more things behind the scenes. I've got a free beginner guitar series that you can sign up for. It is for people who are just starting to pick up the guitar. So if you've never played before, that's where I would recommend going. Grab the Easy Guitar or Starter Guitar course. And then I've also got a guitar course called Strum Masters. That's where you can learn about how to count rhythms, how to master all your different strumming patterns, and finally be able to change chords in time. And there's some really cool exercises in that class. Also got a tip link there if you like what you see and hear and want to contribute to my effort of teaching the world to play the guitar. And at the beginning, I introduced my guitar, but I see, Gary, thanks for your question about the guitar. This is actually a Van Gogh guitar. It is a, let's see, where was she made? I think Chinese. Yeah, it's just a Chinese starter, a beginner guitar. Nothing particularly show-stopping about this guitar. In fact, as far as its make, in fact, I still have the strings that it came with, but it's really nice. It's got X bracing. It's got a pickup in it, which is sweet. I've already used it at a show as a backup guitar for an alternate tuning. And it plays really nice for, I think it's less than $200. But they sent it to me and I like to play, so I've been playing it. And no, unfortunately, not a Martin today. My Martins are inside. I baby them a little bit because it's cold and I like to keep them humidified. And as I also said earlier in this live, I'm out in a shed or it's kind of a shed, but it's a nice shed. And the winter is harsher, so I don't have my martins out here in the studio. But I hope you all have an awesome week. I'll be sending out some new videos as soon as I get time to film more. But for now, you'll see me on shorts and lives and in your lessons. So let me know if you want to take a class. See you in one of the courses, and I will see you at some point with your guitar. All right, have a good one. Bye.